Hello. Today we'll talk about the Minor Arcana. Yesterday I did the Major. 22 cards in the Major and 56 cards in the Minor. So they're kind of set up a little bit like the modern playing cards, where you'll have 10 cards. You'll have 10 cards, 1 through 10, and then you'll have 4 extra cards. You'll have a page, a knight, a queen, and a king. So it's a little bit similar to the modern playing cards. You have 4 suits. You have wands. You have 14 wands. Let me get these up. Being butterfingers today. You have 14 wands. Queen and king. There we go. Yeah. Wands represent energy, movement, things like that, activity. And then you have 14 cups. There we go. And cups represent things like friendship and love, things like that. Then you have swords. They represent things like aggression, anger, because they have to do with war and fighting, things like that. Then you have pentacles. Oops, I forgot the king in there. Get in there, king. And you have pentacles, which represent money. Have a lot to do with money, money, money. So each card has its meaning, each suit has its meaning. Now if you're looking at the 4 energies, the 4 cardinal points, pentacles would be north. Pentacles represent earth. So if you were going to do it that way, that would represent earth. Pentacles represent earth. Swords represent air. So earth goes to the north. In the east, you have air. And to the south, you have fire. And that's wands, because wands are energy. So that's fire. And then to the west, you have water. And you have cups, because cups hold water. So if you wanted to do it that way, you look at it that way too. So if you wanted to do maybe a little magic spell, you could either do candles. You could do like a brown candle for earth, and a yellow candle for air, and a red candle for fire, and a blue candle for water. Or you could put the little stacks of cards here, and they could represent the 4 corners, the 4 elements. You could do it that way too, if you don't want to have candles. So what else do we have now? So like I say, each thing tells a story. Each card tells a story. And like the pentacles represent money. And this would mean that Ace of Pentacles is the beginning. Means like new money, new enterprise, new job, things like that. Here's the Master Craftsman showing off what he's built, trying to sell something to some new people. So it all has to do with money. Here's the Miser card. He's holding on to his wealth, the 4 of Pentacles. This card talks about people being homeless. It's the 5. 5s are usually negative. In the Minor Arcana, they're always negative. But then when it's reversed, it could be positive. But in this upright position, it's negative. So they're homeless, they've lost all their money. So that's how it works. Here's a generous man giving money to poor people. He's got his little scales showing balance and fairness. Here's an apprentice starting out in his business, making pentacles. So it has to do with everything has to do in this suit has to do with money, and that's a good way to remember it. Here's a farmer who's looking at his crops and thinking about how much money he's going to make. Here's a rich lady who's happy with all her money and her nice house and all her surroundings. Here talks about inheritance and family. Then you get into the pentacles and the page and the knight and the queen and the king. And they talk actually less about money, but it's more about personality. These talk about, the first 10 talk mostly money, where these will talk about the person's personality. And these 4 cards are used for your court cards. So when you're reading for somebody, and you want to pick a court card that goes right in the center before you start, these are the court cards. This is what you would choose. And I did a video about this if you want to go and look at that, about how to choose a court card. But when they talk about court cards, that's what they're talking about. These 4 cards. And each suit has 4 of them. So those are the court cards. So if you were doing a reading for a young person, a page is a young person, and it could be male or female. The way these are drawn, they could be either a male or female. He's kind of wearing a skirt, but he looks like a male. But these represent young people who could be male or female. And then the knights represent young men who aren't married yet. And then the queens represent married women. And the kings represent married men. So if you have a married man, then you might, and let's say he's a businessman, he owns his own business, or he's a manager or something like that, then you would pick this card, because that could represent him. They also go into detail about hair color, because it looks like these all have dark hair, and then some of them have blonde hair. But it's easier to just look at, is he a businessman? Then say, okay, he's a married businessman, I'll pick that card. That's an easy way to do it. So that's how it works, really. Each card has its own little story. Swords talk about aggression. This talks about military balance or balance. New activity. This talks about sorrow and tears. This talks about rest after war, the hermit's repose. He was in battle and now he's resting. Then if it was this way, he would have new activity. This talks about a man who just defeated all these people and took away all their swords. And these people feel bad about it, of course, but he's kind of smirking at them, and so he's not a nice person. Instead of being gracious about it, he's kind of looking at them like, you idiots, that kind of thing. He's not a nice man. This talks about leaving home for a new place. See, they don't always talk about aggression. This one doesn't talk about aggression. This one does. But this one talks about leaving home for a new place. And then this one talks about staying home, going that way. Then we go back to aggression again, where this guy is stealing all these swords. He might be a spy or something. And this one talks about indecision. This one talks about bad dreams and bad feelings. This one talks about maybe illness or death. Then we go into the 4 court cards again. So I think these all have red hair. Yeah, they all have red hair. So each one's a little different. You see how much that one looks, can't really tell whether that's a girl or a boy. The face looks masculine, but the way this person is dressed, it could be a girl. So pages could be girls or boys. But that's how it works. That's pretty simple. Wands are energy. The beginning of new energy. This one tells a little story, these three cards. Here he sends out his ships on a business venture, and here the ships come back, and then here the family is celebrating. So these three cards tell a little story. He sent the ships out, they came back, and he made money, and now everybody's celebrating at home. So they have nice little stories in them. Here's aggression, but energy used in a negative way. Here's victory. Here's a guy defeating his foes. This one means things moving quickly, because these wands are traveling across a desert terrain, sort of, and they're moving quickly. That means rapid movement. This means courage, endurance. This guy's trying to carry too much. That means he's carrying too much of a burden. So each picture, it tells a story, and you can remember it that way. It's easy to remember. Then you've got your court cards. There's a blonde. Looks like they have all different colors. There's a brunette and there's a redhead. I think one of these have wands in them somewhere. Maybe it's cups. And with cups, it's about friendship and love. This would mean the beginning of friendship or love. This is two people, male and female, meeting each other and falling in love or creating a friendship. This is about happiness. It's kind of like the Four of Wands, kind of the same meaning, because they're celebrating. This one is talking about a guy who's thinking about his future. He's not sure which way he wants to go. Cups also mean material things, like material possessions. It means love and friendship and material. So he's been collecting material things, and he's got three cups down here, and he's not sure he likes that, doing that. He might want to go towards spiritual, so he's thinking about it. Then when it's this way, it means new activity. He's made up his mind. And this guy here, he lost 3 cups. 3 cups fell over. And he still has 2 cups left, but he's sad about it. And he's ignoring these cups. So each one has a story. Here's friendship from the past. So these two, it's talking about material gain. The last 2 I showed you. That one's stuck in there. But this one's back into friendship and love. So it could be either material or friendship and love. And this is from the past, because they're children. So friendships from the past. Here's a person who's trying to juggle too many things at once, getting scattered thoughts and scattered mind. Here's a person who's back to representing material now. And here's a person who's built up 8 cups, and this represents the material things. And he's not happy. He's like that earlier guy with 4 of cups. And he's walking away from these cups, going out into the wilderness to think about spiritual things. And then if it's reversed this way, then he's coming back to making money. He's done with his little spiritual journey, and he wants to make money. There's the wish card. Whatever you want, you'll get. You get your wish. And these 2 cards are pretty much the same. This is also a wish card, but it's even better because it's coming from above, and it's like a rainbow, so it'll last longer. Then you have your 4 court cards again. I guess there's only one blonde. Oh, there's another blonde. It's hard to tell what he is. A couple of blondes, but it's better to go. With this one, it would be, I think they call it, when you're doing a court card, they talk about religion and someone who's in the church and the clergy, that kind of thing. So that's how you figure out. Each card has a story. Each suit has a meaning. energy, money, aggression, activity, love, friendship, can also mean material things. That would of course mean material things. But that's how the Minor Arcana works. So I hope that's helpful. I think I covered everything. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. I might watch, I've got some other how-to videos on my channel. So just go to the home page and then go down to the playlist and it'll show you, and that's where the how-to videos are in the playlist. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.